Well, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome in across the continent and beyond for another exciting Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants broadcast. We've got a particularly jazzed audience today live with me on StreamYard. If you're on YouTube, I hope you're equally excited because we've got a great show today. If you're new to us, as so many of you are, we are all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world, and we've got like 4,000 broadcasts on our YouTube channel. So if you want to hear from the coolest people and stories on planet Earth, you can head there. So much to explore and discover. Now, today, before I dive in with our topic du jour in our special series, I want to note we do have a Kahoot today. So between our talk and our Q&A, if you want to play along with a little 4-question quiz to test your understanding, win some bragging rights, have some fun, you can pull up that game pin, and we'll be getting to that in about 20-25 minutes. Now, of all the programs you could have joined us for, I'm so happy you're here today because today we are continuing our epic Peak Discovery series. This is the final part of this. We have done like 20 programs with Parks Canada between like 3 separate series this year. This is our one that we do in conjunction with Canada's mountain parks in Alberta and British Columbia. Every time we do this, we get like half of Alberta joining us. So a big welcome to all our Albertans in the audience today. And today, specifically, don't tell the other programs, is my favorite one because today we are talking about Grizzly Bears, a new Grizzly HQ, one of the coolest programs we've ever done in our history. We're bringing it back just for you as a new audience today. And so without further ado, I'm going to stop talking, turning you over to Anne. She's awesome. You're going to be in for a treat. Anne, welcome back to the broadcast, and so nice to have you. Take us away.
Hello, student explorers. So I guess Jesse already introduced me. My name is Anne, and I'm here in Waterton Lakes National Park. So I'm streaming into your classroom today from southern Alberta, Canada. So Alberta is known for its Rocky Mountain National Parks, and these parks are not only beautiful, but they're also home to our unique and incredible wildlife. So before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are in the territories of the Siksika-Sitapi, Kainai, Piikani, Siksika, and Amskapi-Piikani. Waterton Lakes National Park falls within Treaty 7 territory, which also includes the Tsuut'ina Nation, Yari Stony Nakota, Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. The Tunaha Nation have a connection to Patomaksikimi, which means Waterton Lakes National Park. We recognize that Otipimiski-Wakmeti government nation members reside near the park. The lands and waters of Waterton have been used for millennia by Indigenous peoples for sustenance, ceremony, trade, and travel. We thank them for their continuous stewardship and for sharing the land with us. So today, we're going to meet the big boss of the Rocky Mountain wild animals, the grizzly bear. Together, we will discover what kind of habitat makes an ideal home for a grizzly. And along the way, we will also meet other animals that benefit from the presence of a grizzly bear. Waterton is home to many bears. Maybe some of you and people from Alberta have already been here. So the park is small, but our park scientists estimate that about 90 black bears roam the Waterton area, and about 30 grizzly bears consider Waterton home. That's a lot of bears for a small park. So on that video, you can see a grizzly bear roaming through the park, caught on one of our remote wildlife cameras. It's always thrilling to see a grizzly in the wild, and once upon a time, this may not have been such a rare sight. So grizzly bears used to live all over Western North America. In fact, hundreds of years ago, you could find grizzlies as far south as Mexico and as far east as Manitoba here in Canada. Grizzlies are big animals. An animal as big as these bears need plenty of uninterrupted or unfragmented space to live. In fact, ideally, a single male grizzly bear needs over 1,000 square kilometers of unfragmented land. So that means no roads, no cities to meet all its needs. So that's nearly double the size of our park here. Look at that. And today, You can find grizzly bears in the northwestern part of North America. Little animation. And the population is quite small compared to what it once was. The grizzly has now officially been designated a species of special concern, meaning that scientists are worried that grizzly habitat may be completely disappearing and are working hard to protect the spaces this bear calls home. As settlers, we began to build cities, farms, and roads across North America, and grizzly bears had far less unfragmented space to live. This means more competition for food, habitat, and even to find a mate. As people moved in, grizzly bears moved out. Now, there is simply not enough unfragmented land to support a large grizzly bear population. Hey, but now I'm excited because we have a very special guest joining us today to talk about grizzly bear habitat. A well-connected, very modern, techno-savvy grizzly bear. He has some big news to share. He's looking to move to Waterton, folks. I gotta tell you, this is a big, big deal. The park is very excited to welcome this celebrity of the natural world. This big boss is known everywhere. He's a world-class ecosystem engineer shaping the environment around him. Maybe you love him, maybe you fear him, but you certainly know him. Welcome, Jeff Bezos. Hello all. Let me introduce myself. You may recognize me by my appearance, but in case you don't, I'm a grizzly bear. I'm big and I'm strong. I have giant claws and an adorable face. Is this your first celebrity sighting? Take it in. Please don't get me confused with those better black bears. There are some major differences between us grizzly bears and those guys. Look at these photos on the screen. What differences do you see between the grizzly bear and the black bear? You can put some of these differences in the chat. Jesse, can you hear us?
I sure can, and we've got black versus
classrooms
brown. Anyone who does want to
put the
share in the
differences
chat,
in the
absolutely can. Let's see, black versus brown color. Yeah, we've got
Jeff here.
yeah. Oh, hey,
Well, I don't know if the classes are hearing me, but I'm going to tell you what the differences are. You may notice my shoulder hump. It's a big muscle I developed while digging for roots and flipping back rocks and boulders. So that's the number one difference, my shoulder hump. And you might have noticed my ears. They're cute and round and close to my head. A black bear has longer ears, almost like a dog. Oh, gross. The color can be deceiving. Don't rely on the color because both black bears and grizzly bears have the same color. So I would say look at my muscle, my big hump, my ears, our face, the grizzly, we have a dished-in face, whereas the black bear, they have a straighter face. And look at those claws. The black bears they're so tiny compared to my own formidable set. Look at that. Big, long, straight, white claws for grizzly bears and shorter, round claws for black bears. They use them to climb up trees. I'm one of the most majestic animals in the world. At least that's what people say. Folks come from all over just to see me. I don't love the spotlight, but what can you do when you're as captivating as I am? You know, bears and people have a lot of lifestyle choices in common. By that I mean we are opportunivores. We're both omnivores, meaning we eat plants and animals. And although I certainly won't say no to a delicious deer, my diet is about 90% plants. I eat very clean. Listen, I am a bear. I don't do cold weather. I hibernate for the winter. So I must get all my eating done in just a few months. This means I don't like to burn lots of calories to catch my prey. Whatever is easy to get at, that's what I want. Berries. Berries are my favorite. Sugar-filled and calorie-rich. I can eat berries non-stop. No break, sometimes for up to 23 hours a day, consuming close to 100,000 calories in a single day. That's the equivalent of exactly 1,282 boiled eggs. Can you eat that many eggs in a day? I bet not. I want to pack on pounds and spend my days eating away with little interruption. We grizzlies are habitat generalists. It means I can live just about anywhere. I just need lots of easily accessible food and oh so much space. I am a big bear. I need big land. But it's getting harder to find a home, people, cities, roads. And actually, bigger, larger grizzly bear males can have such a huge territory, a territory as large as PEI for us Canadians and for our friends from the US. Sometimes males need a territory that is as big as Delaware. Can you imagine that? Finding such a big space without human interference? Well, some grizzly bears look to the past. I look to the future. Cities are everywhere. Roads keep coming, so innovation must be had. A national park has lots of land, no big cities, and only a few roads. The perfect place to establish my new HQ. Waterton, I have selected you. Waterton is a unique park. Look at that. It's so diverse. There are mountains, there are wetlands, and even grasslands. Each unique ecosystem where a grizzly bear could make a good life. So, ecosystems of Waterton today, you each have an incredible opportunity. Pitch me. Why is your ecosystem the one that should be the new Grizzly Bear HQ? If I choose to make your ecosystem a part of my home range, whoa, will you ever benefit? I'm not one to brag, but I am a grizzly bear. Wherever I live, that place gets extra special attention. I'm a species of special concern, so when I move into a habitat, you immediately get protection. Your ecosystem has little chance of becoming a parking lot if scientists know that I'm around. Furthermore, you might remember my job title, ecosystem engineer. I positively alter the environment around me simply by going about my day. I love to dig, aerating the soil, helping grasses to grow. My big range, paired with my, ample droppings, means I spread shrub and berry seeds far and wide. I even help keep deer and rodent populations balanced by including these creatures in my diet. I keep whatever ecosystem I live in healthy, diverse, and thriving. I offer you plenty. Now, ecosystems of Waterton, what do you have to offer me?
Hi, I'm Sally the long-toed salamander, coming to you from the wildlife crossings of Waterton, and I'm pitching for the wetlands. Here in the aquatic zones, including the wetland, we have such a variety of wildlife and small critters, just like me. There's 6 kinds of amphibians, as well as 22 different fish, and lots of birds. Well, don't forget the bugs. We also have tons of mosquitoes. Here in the wetlands, the water is more shallow and moves real slow, so lots of things can grow here. As for animals, well, all of you guys need water. But here in the wetlands, it's an ideal spot for beavers. And that's a good snack for you. The main road to Waterton's town site is here in the entrance of the park. It's a really big area, and so it means there's lots of less accessible spots for humans. However, it can get busy with cars, bikes, paddlers, and bird watchers. But still, you can avoid them. I avoid them by using these special underpasses built just for me. Crossing the road used to be a nightmare for me and my kind. So many of us perished. But now, us salamanders, we have these underground crossings to avoid losses. But you wouldn't fit. So you do still have to cross the road. We hope to see you this summer in the wetlands.
So can you all help me with the pros and cons of that site? What did they have that I would like? What's not so good? Put that in the chat.
I want to stress, anytime you guys want to put things in the chat, YouTube, StreamYard alike, we'd love to hear from you. Got a lot of really great participatory classes so far, so keep up the great work, everybody, and we'll see what we get.
So, I do like eating fish, but I prefer seeds and berries. And the salamander tunnel helping Sal cross the road is, I guess, very innovative, but wouldn't work for me. What else? What else do you think, folks? Should I move into the wetlands?
Yeah, let's head
Lots
there.
of water means not a lot of land to roam, but I do love a good swim on a hot day. And the grass growing right by the lake, also known as riparian area, it's full of tasty roots and bugs. So I suppose, yeah, it could work. What do you think?
Sounds pretty good to me. Let's see what we got.
Well, let's see what other pitches came in. So who's next?
Hi, I'm Clark, the Clark's Nutcracker, and welcome to the forest of the subalpine. I gotta say, it's pretty fun.
We've seen a lot of you around here, and we want to champion you to stick around. I know life can be a little harder here. It's colder and higher up. We have lots of shade, but we also have lots of berries. And of course, the food we both love, the seeds of the whitebark pine, nutritious and delicious. I'm not like you. I don't have a varied diet as I only eat seeds, and I'm one of the only ones that can get the seeds out of the closed whitebark pine cones. But I've seen some grizzlies in my travels, and I know that you can find caches of seeds in the ground, buried by the red squirrel. Doesn't really bug me if you take those. Those squirrels are so chatty. Here where I am is Cameron Lake in Waterton. You probably don't want to be here as it's a busy place for people and black bears, but there are some other subalpine environments in Waterton that are less visited. You will have to climb a mountain to get here, but these seeds are worth the climb. The whitebark pine is an endangered tree, but hopefully if this ecosystem gets some attention, then my favorite food has a chance. Hope to see you this summer, Jeff, in the forest of subalpine.
So, pros and cons, everyone. What do you think? You could put them in the chat. I have to say, I like it a lot. Those mountains and forests mean few people and roads and lots of excellent berries. And I do love white bark pine tree seeds. They're full of fat and protein. Have you ever tried them? Delicious. This place looks pretty ideal. But I know the white bark pine is struggling. So it's also, it's a tree at risk. So, I don't know about that. Okay, let's see what our final pitch has in store.
Hello, Jeff, Edie the Bison here. Welcome to the grasslands.
What a big open area to feast to your heart's content. My ancestors tell of the prairie's past, and you were a part of them. This is an ideal place to hang out for a grizzly with lots of flowers, seeds, insects, and berries. The only problem out here is that wild grasslands are a pretty small place. Most of the grasslands is now agriculture land with cows, not bison, and lots of people. But the area surrounding Waterton is largely protected. Lots of people are happy to see grizzlies now. Just watch out for the electric fences. Stick to what you generally eat and don't go steal a calf or someone's pet. I've seen more and more grizzlies around here, and that's really cruel.
This could be you, Jeff.
I think people kind of forget that so many of us used to call the grasslands home and that we are really important to the ecosystem. I've been making a comeback, and so should you.
I hope to see you this summer in Waterton.
Well, what are the pros and cons of that place? The home of my ancestors. We grizzlies evolved on the grasslands, But these days, there are so many farms with big machines and lots of people. Waterton's grasslands are farm and people free, but this means lots of grizzlies in one small space. And I have to say, I'm not one to share. You could put the pros and cons in the chat, folks. So, let's review. The wetlands have some good eating opportunities, but not a lot of space for me to wander. The subalpine is full of my favorite foods and is too high up for lots of people and roads. The grasslands are my ancestral lands, but in Waterton, they might be a little crowded with other grizzlies. Well, let's all vote. Put your choice in the chat. I think I know what I want. I want the subalpine. The future is now, and it lives at the top of the mountain. Wow! The subalpine is the perfect place to establish Bearzo's HQ. Berries and seeds galore, and best of all, no people. This is the best place in the park. Well, thank you for helping me choose today. This area will greatly benefit from my presence. Subalpine, you're moving up. Well, more up in the world. Thank you all for helping me decide, and thank you for your pitches, ecosystems. Eventually, I will make my way to see all of you. Remember, even if the subalpine is home, a guy like me has gotta wander. See you in my new HQ.
Awesome. We did
Wow.
it. Whoa. Oh my gosh, we found the best place for Jeff Bezos.
I'm so excited that Jeff Bezos found his new HQ. So thank you all for helping him out and discovering all the different ecosystems a grizzly bear can call home. So we met a lot of wild animals on the screen today. But remember, if you see a wild animal, whether here in Waterton or back home, you want to give them a lot of space. You know, that's the one thing all wild animals have in common with our pal Jeff Bezos. They need lots and lots of space. So help our wildlife by keeping your distance. If you go visit Jeff's new Grizzly Bear HQ, make lots of noise when hiking and always stay on the trail. And please, 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 never leave your human food unattended. Remember, Jeff told you he was eating pretty clean, so they're on a street diet, and we don't want to tempt them with our picnic lunches. It's important that animals have the healthy habitat they need to thrive, and we can help grizzlies and all wild animals by doing our best to keep our wild spaces wild. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us, Anne, and for the incredible in-character action of our Parks Canada interpreters out in the field. Way to go, animal folks. We're going to dive in with a Kahoot, see who's paying attention, test some understanding, have some fun, win some bragging rights. So the faster you answer in our Kahoot, the more points you get, and what you win is Anne and I's everlasting respect. So we're going to dive in with this. Anne, if you want to give us some hints along the way, by all means, and then we're going to head to Smart Snakes, Mighty Monkeys, Miss Hunter, Mrs. Mullen, all our YouTube classes. Big shout out to Fort McLeod, our California online public school, Osborne Public School in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. I'll find more of you as we go along, but so many great students here today. Let's dive in and get underway with our Kahoot. All right, here we go. And if you just want to yell out the answers in your classes, that is totally cool too. But in 3, 2, 1, we're going to get to it. Question 1. What is the preferred grizzly bear food? What do they like to eat the most? For me, for them, is it chicken wings with extra hot sauce like this? Is it berries and roots, moose, or tree leaves? I might have thrown you off intentionally with this picture, although chicken wings can be pretty nice. I'm more of a tenders guy personally. Let's
Something sweet and
hearty.
juicy.
Oh, berries and roots. They killed it. Almost everything right. Way to go. All right. Bronze kangaroo is in our lead as we go to question 2. All right. Grizzly bears can be identified by what? You guys were so good in the chat with this. Is it their brown silvery coloring, their distinctive shoulder hump, their long claws, or, as might be the answer every time I have something like this in a quiz, all of the above? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. What do we think? I want to stress, YouTubers, you guys are already sharing some great questions in the chat. I'll learn how to say great questions better as we go along. But okay, a lot of you picked shoulder hump, which is true, but all of the above is our correct answer. All of those things are great signifiers for grizzly bears. Bronze kangaroo keeps our lead in. Here we go. Question 3. They evolved in what habitat? This isn't the one that is their favorite now. Where did they start? Is it the subalpine, the wetlands, the grasslands, or outer space? Space bear. We've done a lot of space programs lately, but I don't think it's space. I've got a good feeling. One of our characters mentioned that bears began here. This is going to trip up a lot of people, I think. Our answer here is, the grasslands. Yes, still right. They started in the grasslands. Subalpine forest is the best now. Let's see. Bronze kangaroo maybe keeps your lead. Our leaderboard's being very weird right now. I don't know why, but that's okay because we're going to question 4. Grizzly populations are decreasing due to what? The grizzly bear clan wars. Not enough berries to eat, fragmented habitat, or too much screen time and not enough mating time. What do we think? I will say, when we do conservation programs of all kinds, it's the same answer for pretty much every kind of animal on planet Earth. So that might give you a hint. And the answer is yes, fragmented habitat. If you don't have enough space, it's hard to make a living, especially when you're a big grizzly bear. All right. Virtuous bison is
bison.
Yeah. Very thematic. Victorious Sea Lion is second. And first, drum roll, please, for all the marbles before we head to our Smart Snakes crew. Bronze kangaroo. Wire. If you are a bronze kangaroo, let us know in the chat or on camera in a minute. Way to go. Smart Snakes, we're heading to you guys first. Come on in Art Space and take us away. Hi, Asheville.
Oh, hey!
Hi.
Oh. All right. Who has a question? Someone have a question? Okay, Jace.
How much grizzly bears are in the world?
Ooh, how many grizzly bears on Earth, Anne? No pressure.
But no pressure. I'm here in Waterton. I have no clue how many in the world.
Yes. We've stumped an expert. This is a tricky thing. And I want to stress, we get this kind of question a lot. And it's very rare that biologists or people at parks know how many of any specific creature there are on Earth. In the park, do we have a figure for in Waterton itself?
About 30. And I will say that, so this question was from the US. So I know in the lower 48, the remaining habitat for the grizzly bears is currently around 1% of the total territory they used to have back in the day. So this just gives you an idea that it's not much space left compared to before Westerners' presence here.
I encourage you, go check out that animation from the beginning where how much the habitat has shifted. Now we're starting to do better. We're starting to bring back habitat, release a lot of animals. So we're actually on an upswing for a lot of creatures right now, but we did get numbers really, really low for a lot of creatures. That is a great question. Thanks, Art Space. All right, Mighty Monkeys, our second class, come on in. Hello.
Hello, Artish. Hey, back up. All right, Xander's gonna ask a question.
Hey, Xander.
Oliver. Is it male bears bigger?
Ooh, male bears bigger than females, Anne?
Yes, they are. By how many? Oh, and you count in pounds, so I cannot even do that conversion.
What's kilos? I can do kilos to pounds. What's kilos?
So males are they can be up to, let's say, 300 kilos.
Yep.
Roughly. Females, 200,
yeah.
Even a bit less.
So 1.5 times as big, and we're talking up to 800 pounds here. Like, these are huge animals. These are like as big as half your class put together. So really cool question, guys. I want to stress, it's really funny. We're mammals, just like bears. So in mammals, males tend to be bigger than females, just as a general rule. But in the animal kingdom at large, females tend to be bigger than males. Like, we're really weird that mammals, things with hair, are bigger as boys. It's really rare in the animal kingdom broadly. Great question, guys. All right, Miss Hunter, if you want to flick on your microphone, you can be a voice in the ether for us. We'll come to you in a second. But, there we are. Hey, Miss Hunter. Welcome. Hi.
Hold on. Lila is going to ask a question. Can you just speak into that mic? What was your question?
How old does grizzly bears get?
Great question, Lila.
So grizzly bears will live about 30. They will grow as old as 30 years old, roughly. So now, for example, if you have a bear at the zoo, it could get even older because it's had a pretty laid back life. They don't have to hunt that hard to get their food, and they won't get into fights. But sadly, a lot of grizzly bears don't make it to that age because of us. A lot of grizzly bears will not reach their 30 years old because of our presence. So I don't know if you want me to get into details here.
Well, no, but this is an important thing, right? Like, people have a really big impact in the environment. So there are a lot of ways in which we can impact both bears and a lot of big predators, big animals. You talked about fragmented habitat. So like humans, when we're around animals, tend to impact them in a negative way. That is the broad strokes thing. Yeah.
And so here, if you think about the mountain parks in general, not here in Waterton, but Banff and Yoho, even Glacier. So the Highway 1 goes through there as well as the train tracks. And so this has a pretty big impact on bears and other wildlife, but a lot of them will get hit every year.
Yeah. Again, a really important message for our class. And I know you guys are young, quite a few of you, but we do have an impact, and it underscores why it's so important for us to do as much as we can to help wildlife. And I know you kids live and breathe that stuff. So really, really glad we get to cover these topics. Thanks, guys. All right, Ms. Mullen, our Kahoot winner, they had to go. They had the end of our day, unfortunately. But a question they had before they left was, they've heard a saying that if a bear is black, fight back. If a bear is brown, lay down. Is there any truth to this or not?
So that's a general Parks Canada messaging, is to not try and make the difference between a black bear and a grizzly bear. And it's especially true here in Waterton because we do have a lot of blonde black bears. Like, you cannot imagine the number of people who come up in the summer and tells, oh, we've seen a grizzly bear, and the chances of that are pretty slim. Usually they see a blonde or cinnamon colored black bear. So usually when you won't see the bears, like it's pretty rare in the national parks on the trails, or they will move away from you. So our number one thing is prevention. You want to prevent an encounter with a bear. That's the general rule, right? So hike maybe in groups of 4 or more. And we say make lots of noise, that you don't need to be singing or yelling during your entire hike, because you could also impact other wildlife or other hikers. But especially if you come around a blind corner somewhere, just think about your pets, your dog. Sometimes if they're really focused on something, you could surprise them too, and that could turn out badly. It's the same for bears. In August, when they're just thinking about berries, they're just eating and eating and eating, and sometimes they won't even hear you coming or smell you. That's usually what they do. So it's a very long answer, but we don't use that, black bear fight back, brown lay down. Yeah. It's prevention, and then it's a bit long, because then we explain and we tell people you have to pay attention to the bear's behavior. Yeah. Again, if the bear is defensive or it's already a bit scared of you, you don't want to fight back, because you're just going to scare it even more. Anyway, I
cannot
give you a full answer here, but
I want to stress, if you go to Waterton, if you go to Banff, if you go to places with bears, there's a lot of guidance when you get to these parks about
exactly.
You are so astronomically unlikely to ever have a bad interaction with a bear. I've seen many bears. They're far away. We say hi. Usually bears want nothing to do with you. Most animals want nothing to do with people. If you make that noise, they will get out of the way because they don't want to interact with you.
I will say give them space. Give them lots of space, especially if it's a female with cubs. And if you notice that they are on a carcass, that's the 2 most dangerous situations here in the park. Female with cubs and bear who could be protecting their food. Give them space. Don't try and take a selfie with a bear.
A good universal bit of advice. We're going to take a few from YouTube, and then we're going to go back to our live classes for a whole other round. If you have extra questions, please do email them to us at Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. We'll pass them to Anne. We already have more than we could possibly answer, which is a great problem to have. So our wolf pack in Fort McLeod and Miss Koss class in California both want to know, do bears fight one another? And this is true of grizzlies with one another or grizzlies with black bears. Any bear fights going on in the park?
Not really. They're pretty, they're not as territorial as other creatures you could think about. Again, I'm always using dogs. It's like, if you have a pretty reactive dog, your dog is reacting more than bears are reacting to each other. So here they're going to display. So usually how it works is they're going to split. We talked about male grizzly bears. They have a huge territory. So of course they're going to have other bears, like female with cubs or other males going through, and black bears that have a smaller range. So they will do everything to share the space, but they don't usually fight. So the goal is to find as much food as they can and to find a mate, and then to just eat as much as they can. So really getting into a fight, that's wasting calories, and it's more dangerous than anything else for them. They will display, make noises and like jaw or bluff charges. But no, they don't really fight. Again, it could happen if one is trying to protect food, or especially a carcass. And then they have a pretty specific hierarchy between amongst each other. And so usually black bears and grizzly bears. So usually grizzly bears tend to be bigger, and that just sets the hierarchy. It's pretty natural to have a hierarchy. So black bears will usually move away. If there is a grizzly bear that's claiming that space, they will just move somewhere else.
If I went to the yard and there were like a 12-foot tall person eating something, I wouldn't go and try and take his food either. I'd leave him alone. It's a great question, guys. All right, Smart Snakes, I'm going to come to you because I know our Mighty Monkeys had to go. So we'll come to you live. We'll take one from YouTube and we'll wrap up with Miss Hunter. Hello. Come on in. Unmute. There we are. Hey.
Hello. Hi.
Again.
Smart snakes. Okay, we have a question right here. Jilly has a question.
Hey, Jilly.
Liana has a question. Go ahead, Liana. Get close.
Have you ever
Get closer.
actually seen a grizzly bear, Anne?
Ooh, in Waterton Lakes, yeah.
In Waterton? Yes. Yes, we actually, I guess the latest anecdote is there was a grizzly bear in the village this spring. So we have a coworker who lives in the village, and she was just, I think, doing dishes. And you know, when you do little chores and you just look out the window, and she thought it was a big dog, and then she was, oh no, there's a bear, and it's a grizzly bear, and it's not a known bear. But yes, we've had a grizzly bear roaming the village of Waterton this spring. So yeah, that's usually in the spring, you know, when they're coming down to the valley bottoms, because that's where the food will be. Higher up, it's still covered in snow. So they will come down to eat the first grass that's getting out, the first flowers, and the ground squirrels. That's an easy food source here in the village.
Delicious, delicious ground squirrels. Speaking of food sources, Sophia in our Miss Grimard's class wants to know, do grizzly bears eat the bison?
So not here in Waterton, because our bison is in a big paddock, but it could have happened. Again, their bison are protecting their calves pretty well. So that if they're eating bison, it would be a calf or maybe an old and sick adult individual. They would probably not try to hunt a healthy adult, because these can defend themselves pretty well.
Yep. I love when we get questions about big things. Big things tend to be really big because they get to that stage where predators just don't want to have them. This is true of elephants, rhinos, bison, muskox. When you get gigantic, predators tend to stay away because they might get just as hurt if they try to attack you as you would.
And they stay together, right? Yeah. So if the bear is pursuing bison, and then they can, during the run, if they can isolate a calf, maybe they will eat a calf, but it's probably not the easiest food source.
And time flies and you're having fun. We are nearing the end of the broadcast. Before we bring in our smart stakes to say a big thank you and farewell for some of our classes having had to go, is there any final message you want to leave us with today about New Grizzly HQ?
It's the give them space, because that's and the food. I guess here that's our the number one reason we have to put bears down is because they get into human food. So that's currently, and it's the same in Banff. It's bears accessing our picnics. So put your food away would be a big message here. When you're exploring the parks and other places too, if you're not right there with your food, even if it's for a second, don't leave your coolers out. Just put everything back in your car. It takes a few steps and a few seconds. Do that for them, because most people come here to see the bears, and that's really the single thing you can do to keep them safe, is to give them space. First one, give them space, and put your food away.
No better message than that. And it applies to pretty much every animal in the world. So wherever you are, whatever you're tuned on, keep that advice in mind. I want to stress, if you have extra questions, which I know you do, email them to us. We'll pass them along to Anne. Inundate her weekend, make her miss the hockey game. Anne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Amazing Peak Discovery series. Some of our classes have to run, but if you're on YouTube and you want to scream and yell and annoy the principal, you have our permission. And Smart Snake, thank you so much. Art Space Charter School.
Yay!
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.